AsalaamuAlykum. I'm your sister Naomi Saif, and today we have our special guest, Brother Noah.
Alhamdulillah. AsalaamuAlykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And so we get questions sometimes, alhamdulillah, on some of our previous videos, some of them via email, and I just have 5 of them here in regards to family and parenting in Islam. So I have like 5 of the most commonly asked questions. So one of them is, and we'll both answer, inshallah. It is when, according to our opinion, when is a good time to get married, and is there a difference in age for women and men?
That's an excellent question. I think that a good time to get married is around the time of puberty. I know it, hits
14.
around 14, 13 for males and females. So I say around that time, not, okay, puberty, bam,
13,
get married.
14.
No, around that time would be, realistically probably around 17, 18 years old. I think that's around the time that kids who don't get married start to have boyfriends and girlfriends anyway. Kids in high school, a lot of the boyfriend and girlfriend stuff gets real popular around the time when they are seniors, about 17, 18 years old, but especially if they want to embark and go to college. When kids especially go to college, you will see them, they get into their first serious relationship, probably when they're freshmen in college and something like that. So that's around the time where they should actually, get married, because being married protects them during those adolescent years, so they won't get into, trouble, basically.
Inshallah. Yeah, I agree, and I think that those puberty years is supposed to prepare you for getting married. So like the more traditional, like for my family, like the Puerto Rican traditional, like as soon as you become a young woman, you get 15, you have a quinceañera, you're considered a young woman, and you're having those talks of marriage. You're preparing. You're supposed to be. Especially for in America, 1 and 2 generations removed, even from like down south for your family. You move up north and your culture kind of starts to become diluted, right? Like first and second, third generations. So, but yeah, those first few years should be about, just you're, going from being a kid to being, a teenager, and learning these skills, of course, going to school and things like that, but learning that you are going to grow up and you're going to have to take care. You're being taken care of now, but you have to prepare to take care of someone else, be it a husband as a provider, be it as a woman, as, a nurturer, a provider as well. All the things that both people bring to the table as far as marriage. And as far as the second part, where it says, is there a difference in age for women and men? I think that men, and I don't know if you agree, I think men should actually get married a little bit younger because their hormones are a little bit crazy. I think some girls are a little bit more calm. You know what I'm saying? Like some girls can be, I don't know about today too much, but some can be 16 and 17 and be cool. Whereas with the brothers, sometimes it's like, it's just too much. But in society, it has it the backwards. It has the men getting married later in age, like in their mid-30s, and women getting married younger. Okay, so then, question number 2. What does one need in order to be ready to get married?
What does one need in order to be married? They would need the things that would allow them to survive on their own. So that would be apartment, some kind of transportation, and some kind of way to, and I'm speaking from a male perspective, the male side of it, you tell the female side of it, some roof over their head, some kind of way to get income and some type of form of transportation. It doesn't have to be a car. It can be a bike or something like that. But it has to be in motion. Or it could be, the bus pass or something. It has to be some way to facilitate that motion that you have to get from one place to the next. So I think, if a young man is able, in order to take care of himself on his own, not with the help of anybody, then he is ready to take on a wife. Because if you take on a wife in that situation, if you have somewhere to stay, she has somewhere to stay. If you have transportation, she has transportation. And if you have income, of course, you could provide for her also. So I think that if you have those three things, of course, the Deen of Islam, you go into Jummah every Friday, and you're making your 5 prayers. That's essential because you will be the imam of the house. You'll be ready to get married.
What if you don't have those things? Because especially today, especially if they're 18, 19, 20-year-olds, like what if they don't have their own place? Like what if the brother is trying his best, but he doesn't have? Should he then wait 5 years, 3, 6 years? Or should he, like a lot of communities do, where they they accept the help from their families?
Yeah, you can accept help, definitely. And I think that in the accepting help, you are still pushing to get your own, to be out on your own, and I think that just as long as you're in the process of it, even if you don't have it at the time, I mean, even if it takes you 6 months or a year or something like that, your parents provide a home for you or something of that nature, then I think that's good also. Because the basis of this is to stop these kids from falling into sin.
Oh yeah,
That's the biggest thing. So I think that with that intention of not falling into sin, and you wanting to provide a household and a way for you and your wife and your family, I think that would be good also.
Oh yeah, because I know, like I said, again, going to traditions, a lot of, especially with them being so young, a lot of families do say, come and bring your wife here, bring your husband here, finish school, get a job, you know what I'm saying, and save up your money. And they really help them, especially with them being so young, so that it doesn't deter them from getting married. But then they can also not stay young, but they can still, finish school, finish high school. They can, go out with each other, have, their teen years, or whether they're young, early 20s. And then that goes into the next question. What do you think about teens getting married?
Well, I think that the taboo, and that's exactly what it is, taboo of teens getting married is wrong. Because, I think that, teenagers, especially with raging, not only hormones, but just wanting to step up and be responsible also, we can't neglect that fact. That it's not always a hormone thing. It's just some people who want to be off on their own, and they just want to be responsible, And I think that teenagers getting married to each other, it's nothing wrong with that. Teenagers wholeheartedly get into relationships, and nobody says anything about that. Young teenagers get into relationships, nobody says anything about that. So I think that it would be admirable to have a young teenager step up and say, not only do I want to be in a relationship with this woman, or a woman, I want to be in a relationship with this man, but I want to do it in front of God. I want to do it the right way. Yeah. That's honorable, and it's like the hadith where some of the people who get shaded on the day of resurrection, when the sun will be 5 miles away from us, is the youngster who practiced Islam from young all the way into old. So you can't say that somebody who's trying to adhere to the laws of Islam when they're young would not be applicable to have that state. And also another category of people who will be shaded on that day is 2 Muslims who says, I love this person for the sake of Allah.
Mm-hmm.
So
SubhanAllah.
that would be two young people who are married and,
Mm-hmm.
and are doing it because of their love of Allah. So,
Yeah, and I think that
alhamdulillah.
and I think especially with teens, or if you're your younger 20s, is to get away from the white picket fence, the brand new car, in regards to that's what you need in order to get married. If if all you have, if you're just if you love each other and you feel like you can't wait and you don't want to fall into sin, and you have to move in with each other's parents, you need to make arrangements. You can live, some people get married and they still live, separated. There's all types of ways to go about it. But like you said, they go into we go into these relationships wholeheartedly as if they are marriages, but they are haram because they're not you're not married. And so it is best to just have a nikah, even if you're young, even if you want, if you've always dreamed of having like a big reception and wedding, you strive for that later, inshallah. And again, like I said, not to deter from thinking that if you don't have all the material things now, then you just can't get married.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So okay, because I know, like, even our parents, like, your father was married young, 17. My parents were married when they were about 17 and 18, 17 and 16, I think. My parents, when they got married. So back in the day, I know it's a long time ago, but that's what people did. Nobody was being boyfriend and girlfriend is almost like, it's very immature. To the point, like, in the Spanish language, that word boyfriend or girlfriend does not exist. The word is novio and novia, and it really literally means a fiance. It does not mean a boyfriend and a girlfriend. It just now kind of like has that new meaning. So that little in between stage, that little boyfriend and girlfriend, that's this new thing. This new word that came about, this new way that we've kind of like, cheated ourselves out of relationships. So. And then just two more questions. Okay, when is a good time to have children?
Yeah. Okay. When is a good time to have children? I think that newlywed couples should take some time to enjoy themselves alone first. And that could be, a month. It could be a year. As to how much time you need to enjoy time to actually have the kids, because Allah gives us the kids. So I would say, just make sure you just take some time to enjoy, your union.
Well, like, what
first.
age bracket do you think? Like, what age
How
bracket?
old should you be to have kids?
Like, about, like, if someone got married at 16, 17, that's way too young to have some kids,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you got to finish school, finish college, even if they're like, even if someone got married at like 20, 21, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
I would say 25 is a good age.
Okay,
25
I
is
agree.
a good age. You're still young, you're still young. And, you still have life that you've lived, and you still have a long life ahead of you. So 25 would be a good age to have kids.
Yeah, because you don't want to spend too much time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He controls the kids, like you said. You don't want to spend too much time just thinking about each other, because then when the babies come, it's this like huge culture shock, because now you have to take care of this baby, but you've got your careers, and you've just got these two adults that have been independent, working together. And I think that's when a lot of people become, kind of crazy when the kids come, because they have spent so much of their lives just being used to taking care of themselves, even within a marriage, going and traveling and going out and being social, and then a baby comes and it's like this traumatizing thing for some people. So then this is the last one. So, one piece of advice to the youth in Islam and the generation of their parents.
Okay. To the youth and the one bit of advice, I would say, continue to live a fearless life, because we can only fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. This world, this dunya, these people, we can't fear these people, And so I always say, when people ask me to talk about the youths in Islam, and people are so quick to point out like the wrong things that they're doing, they may be engaged in music and whatever these things that they're engaged in. But I personally have saw with my own eyes, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a youth in Islam technically, but youths in Islam are some of the most resilient kids that you will ever meet in life. Imagine the stuff that they go through on a regular basis. They got to deal with being called terrorists, not eating pork, not doing the things that the status quo of society are doing. Not to mention women wrapped up, going out in society every single day. Young girls, young boys rocking beards and stuff like that. Kufis, even if they don't have those things. Still are Muslims, still are saying their prayers. So I would say that the youths in Islam, keep going. Just keep going. Just keep believing. Never give up hope in this religion, or whether or not you're doing the right thing or you're on the right track. Man, you on the best track you can be. And you setting yourself up to be a leader in this society, and one that people can look up to for moral integrity. So, alhamdulillah. The youth in Islam, they're the ones who we're going to give the baton to. So, man, keep going.
And then I would like to close out with adding the advice that I would give to the parents is be patient and have compassion. Don't be so quick to give up on your child. Don't be so quick if he doesn't want to wear his beard, if she's not ready for her hijab. Have patience. Even if you put it on at the age of 7, even if you don't compare yourself to your child. Be patient, have compassion, and never give up in making dua for your children, and then just loving them as they are and thinking more of the good things that they are doing, because we are always so quick to think about, like you said, the quote unquote things that they're doing that we may not agree with, if it's beats and music, but at least people know that they're Muslim. At least
they would get out of that, because I'm not okay in that. They don't need to be taking part in that.
Yeah.
But inshallah, they will work themselves out of that. And the advice to the parents, we have to be the best examples.
But that's what I mean too, is also learning that, especially if they're teenagers, is that this is a time when they're gonna make mistakes. It's better that people make mistakes this where it's small and it doesn't your child listening to music, inshallah, okay, that's fine. I come from a world where people were having babies at 14 and 15 years old, so it's like, think to yourself, alhamdulillah, it could be worse. At least people know that my child is a Muslim. At least my child is not eating pork and smoking cigarettes and doing drugs and drinking alcohol and stuff like that. And, may Allah protect us all. Just always looking at something to be appreciative in our children, because if we give up on our children, who's gonna pick them up? Who is a different faith is gonna tell them, oh, you're being like outcasted by your community. Your community says you can't do this. Your parents kicked you out. Come to this religion. Come to this faith. You can eat pork. You can have all the things that you're striving for without having to do all that. And we know that that's not the truth. So, but yeah, so we want to thank you. And if you have any more questions or things or advice you want to share, please put in the comment section below. And that is it. Thank you so much. AsalaamuAlykum.
Jazakallah khair.